Hello, welcome to Loremaster's Lair. I'm your Loremaster, here today for another God video. After last month, we are beginning looking at gods who have full write-ups in the book Faith of the Golarion, one ebook. Well, beginning as far as looking, as we already looked at the 3 Tianchi ones last year. So, anyway, to start, we are dealing with an elf-themed adventure path, so let us look at the elven representative of that book, Ketephys. Ketephys. Let's get started. First, as always, let's take a look at where you can find information on Ketephys yourself. Our hunt begins in both the Gods and Magic books, one for each edition, and Divine Mysteries, though earlier works will likely only get you the general Elven Pantheon. The true chase begins in Faith of the Golarion, and we are reaching a point where that is really it. We have the domain of all the elf deities still mentioned in Planar Adventures, but only the specifics of his are in his full write-up. The information is getting more elusive to hunt down. Ketephys has long been more connected to the elven home of Sorian on Golarian's nearby planetary neighbor than the planet Golarion itself. When the Starstone fell onto Golarion, Ketephys was one of the deities who shepherded his people back to their homeworld, where the elves were free from much of the planet's surface for a good 7,000 years. Of course, that all changed when Treerazor invaded the old ancestral elven lands, and almost made it to the Ayudara, which connects Golarion to Syverin. I said it before, I should be able to. Anyway, Ketephys, filled with fury, called forth the elves to return, if for no other reason than to stop Treerazor's advance. And turn him back they did, sending him to bide his time in the areas of the local woods he had managed to corrupt. And since then, Ketephys has led the elven push to hunt demons, especially those which would desecrate his people's home. Ketephys is a brown-skinned elf with the eyes and feathers of a hawk. He wears simple hunting clothing under a feather cloak, but his most distinguished feature is not himself, but his constant companions, the dog Macho and the hawk Falling Star. The worship of the Elven Pantheon is usually together, polytheistically. For a worship which is directly focused on the hunter himself, one of the largest focuses is the teaching of survival and archery skills. And there tends to be ceremonies like when a child receives their first bow. The church also treats animals for illnesses and diseases, ensuring there will be healthy prey in the future, as well as a healthy ecosystem, especially forests after the attack of Treerazor. For the clergy who serve just as the priests of Ketephys and not as the entire pantheon, they are loosely organized and are either leaders of small communities or loners who wander the wilderness. In their chosen communities, they organize hunting and camping trips for even those who do not worship the hunter, ensuring all know how to survive in his woods. They organize on the first full moon of the year, both for friendly hunts and to confirm the location of not just Treerazor, but also any lesser demons in Elven territory. Temples to Ketephys are simple wooden structures and made to be used by hunters and those traveling the woods, like wilderness outposts and hunting lodges. Larger temples usually are made for the 3 members of the Elven Pantheon, with the hunter's portion usually a garden in the back. As for shrines, they can usually be found in the wilderness, usually just simple stones arranged in the form of his holy symbol. Ketephys' realm is the Amaranthian Forest, part of Elarion in Elysium. Here, lucky few get to hunt animals which never truly die, with short days and long moonlit nights, with trees which take the form of shelters one can rest in between hunts. Now on to other facts as per usual. As an elven deity, his faith is strongest in Kionin and Severian. Severian. Yes, okay, whatever. The greatest holiday of the faith is Reclamation, the day of the triumph return of the elves to Golarion, and their success in driving back Treerazor. The holy text of the faith is the Ways of the Woods, a collection of the few words of advice the quiet deity has given his faithful. That said, Tales of Maicho and Falling Star, a collection of children's books about his two companions, is also largely popular with children. We end off, as always, with other relationships. First, for planar allies, there have already been mentioned multiple times before, but we have Maicho and Falling Star. Maicho, the hunting dog, is large and silver in color. Falling Star is a hawk which is usually seen circling the elven deity's head. They work in conjunction with the hunter to make an almost flawless hunting party. There is also Fondiale, an Azata which often hunts with the trio. He is tall, red-headed, and uses a bow as opposed to usual great swords that Jalei, his kind of Azata, favor. For other deities, the hunter gets along well with the other two members of the Elven Pantheon, Findaliara and Uel-Ra. His domain overlaps with that of Aristal and Gosrin, and they have overall positive relationships with a few differences between the human and the elven hunter. And finally, when Treerazor made an enemy of the elves, it was Ketephys who took it the most personally, declaring Treerazor and his sire, Sisfasug, personal enemies. Which brings an end to today's video. I'd like to say I have more elf-related videos planned to celebrate the new Elven Adventure Path, but really all I have is a Tianchi Nation and another Elven deity with a full write-up. Did not really plan anything thoroughly until now, and really I have more priorities for the next couple weeks, so. But either way, see you next video.